Today, I'm going to show you how to make these coffee filter flowers using nothing more than coffee filters and the PowderPuff Chalking Inks. For this flower here, I used the PowderPuff Chalking Ink in Tahiti and then added a little biscotti to it. For these other ones that are a little more off-white, I just used biscotti, and I will show you how I did those. All you need are these supplies here in front of me. A plain coffee filter, the PowderPuff Chalking Inks that you want to use, and for this one, I'm going to do my flower in the Dusty Rose, and it's going to turn out like this when we're all done. Let me show you how simple this is. Take a coffee filter, and you want to roll it up into a tight little ball, trying to get it nice and wrinkled, and then we're going to flatten it back out. And now you can see all the texture we have with those wrinkles. I'm going to start with the Dusty Rose, and I'm going to take that Dusty Rose and I'm going to lightly just rub it across the top. There's nothing perfect about this technique. You just rub it. When this is all rolled up, you're going to see that it's not going to matter how perfect or imperfect your inking was. It just needs to be on there. It gives it a nice little base color. So when I'm all done with that, I am then going to take my coffee filter and some scissors, and I'm going to cut in a spiral all the way around, and I'm going to keep cutting until I get to the center. I'm leaving a little less than an inch as my edge. Again, this you can decide on how big you want your flowers, how small you want them. You can kind of play around with this. It's kind of a personal preference. And I'm going to keep on going all the way around until my coffee filter looks like this one. As you can see, I just kept going until I got into the center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this end. And you can use any kind of glue you have on hand. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm going to do a small section at a time because that's easier. And I'm just going to put a little glue around that bottom edge. And I'm going to start to roll it up. But as I roll it, I'm kind of wrinkling it a little bit, putting some pleats in there because I don't want it to be this perfect rolled up flower. I kind of want to give it a little personality as it goes. And then once I've used the amount of glue that I had, then I'm going to add a little more. And I'm just going to work in small sections. I find that it's easier to do it that way than put glue all over it, and then I tend to smear it everywhere because I'm a mess that way. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep folding this up, and I'm kind of rolling those edges out as I go. Now for the flower I have here that I made, I used the entire coffee filter. I went all the way around for that one. The beauty of this technique is you can use as much or as little as you want. So if you want some smaller flowers, like on my layout, the blue flowers were large. I used an entire coffee filter. And then those off-white ones where I used the biscotti ink, those were a little smaller, and I used about this much coffee filter. And once I have that spiral rolled where I want it, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off the edge. And I'm going to add a little glue to this tip on the end because I want it to kind of hold it all together. And I'm going to tuck that underneath some. And that's going to hold that all in there. And of course, you can play with the coffee filter to get it to stick up where you need it. And you're going to want to hold it for a few seconds to give it time to dry. Once that's dry and it's good and sturdy, because it will dry really nice and firm, like this one I can do about anything with now, I'm going to take another color ink. For mine, I chose to use biscotti, and I'm going to lightly go over the top of the flower. This adds a little extra color, a little extra interest. I think it'd be neat, like, to use a couple different colors of blue, a lighter blue and a darker blue around the edges. But it just makes it look a little more realistic and gives it that nice shabby look. And it's that simple. And once they're all dry, you just add a little glue to the back and you glue it right on your layout. And let me bring that layout back to you. And when you're all done, this is what you have, are those nice flowers.